most respected religious leaders, respected Mr. Vijay Darda, chief organizer of this meeting, my brother Ramdev, and distinguished guests. I deem it a great privilege to be associated with our very distinguished spiritual leaders from India, meeting to reflect on global challenges to communal harmony and the role of India. I am particularly appreciative of and grateful to Mr. Darda for having taken the initiative to convoke this meeting. Lokmat is a pioneering media outlet which has done much for the good of Maharashtra and India. A golden jubilee is a time for looking back with joy and satisfaction, for introspection, for giving thanks to God for all the good that has been done, while asking blessings for the future. Mr. Darda has not just been thinking of times ahead, but already taking concrete steps to enhance Lokmat's contribution to the future. Friends, we are meeting in extraordinary circumstances, in the midst of a pandemic. A tiny, invisible virus has brought the whole world to its knees and disrupted all plans at every level. Restrictions at this gathering are an indication of how much we have been affected. We pray that we are seeing a conclusion of the situation, the beginning of the end. Out of a crisis of this, out of any crisis for that matter, one does not emerge the same. One either comes out better, strengthened, or is crushed, weakened by the situation. The pandemic has brought untold misery and pain to many, and so many good people, colleagues, friends, relatives, family members have been snatched away unexpectedly, without warning, without preparation, without time to say goodbye. The pain and the anguish of the coronavirus was there for all to see. Yet I think out of this darkness, there emerged a light. A fire of the spirit of compassion and solidarity was lit, bright enough for all to see. People cutting across all considerations of caste, creed, language, place of origin, reached out in selfless service, not only to people affected by the coronavirus-induced health crisis, but also to those affected by the human and socio-economic crisis that the resultant lockdown had given rise to. Still vivid in our minds are those scenes of healthcare and frontline workers toiling around the clock to attend to the virus infected. Volunteers offered and still offer shelter, dry ration, cooked food. Others arranged for the safe return of migrants returning to their native places. Still others organized supply of essential medicines to the sick. There were those who ensured dignified last rites to the victims. Those who did this did not care whether the people who benefited from their services belonged to their region or to their religion. These good Samaritans were animated by the spirit of humanity and acted with feelings of fraternity because we are, as Pope Francis says, brothers and sisters, part of one another. We are all in the same boat. To quote Pope Francis, this spirit of universal fraternity in the midst of suffering naturally gave visibility to human solidarity. Particularly evident everywhere in India was interreligious solidarity as people of different religions, individually or collectively, joined hands with people of other religions, with those who profess no religion, did their best to bring succor and solace to the afflicted. Friends, this is this spirit of solidarity that we must carry to the post-pandemic world for the healing of many social evils that have infected us. When we look back, we cannot allow this spirit of solidarity, this fellowship, to die out. I think that all of us spiritual leaders here have a role to play in forming the minds and attitudes of people according to the best of our religious traditions. Recent statistics reveal that nearly 84% of the global population professes one religion or another. The concept of God in different religions may differ, but all religions believe in humanity. All religions exhort their adherents to live in harmony and in peace. Despite the differences that we, as believers of diverse religions, would have, our common humanity binds us together. I said a short while ago that the concept of God in different religions might differ. But I ask whether that statement is fully true. Do we not all believe that the Almighty teaches us love, truth, honesty, justice, fraternity? My dear brothers, I think there is much more that unites us than that which separates us. If we only open our minds and our hearts and look deeply, we will see that the common points are greater than our differences. Let us therefore not focus on differences. Let us focus on what unites us. India is the home of many world religions and the flag bearer of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. Don't we have the rich legacy of people of diverse religious traditions living together for ages as brothers and sisters in harmony and peace? As spiritual leaders, it is our noble responsibility to protect, to preserve, and to promote this legacy. As in every family, there could be some misunderstandings and misgivings. But I think much of this occurs because of pre-drawn conclusions, prejudices, and often erroneous perceptions. Hence the need, the urgent need, for deeper communication and continuous dialogue. We need to work together for a better world. Permit me to highlight just 2 or 3 points. Shortly, there will be a COP26 meeting in Glasgow, Scotland. World religious leaders, and proudly I can say our own Prime Minister, will also go and come together to discuss climate change. While some decisions will be taken there on the mega and the macro level, it is our moral obligation to lend full support to these decisions of our leaders at the local level, so that our planet will be kept safe for future generations. Our children and grandchildren can have a better future. Our support to this initiative, in private and in public, will mean much and make a difference to the battle to combat climate change. Can we work together for this? And at international climate change meetings, it has been observed by experts that Asia could be the continent most affected by climate change. Parts of my own city of Mumbai could be underwater by 2050 unless we take immediate steps to counter the threat. Could there be any difference of opinion among us? Can we not all work together? Let the world see that we of different religions can work together in harmony. our dialogue in action could be an example to the world that we are very much in common, that we are of one mind, of one heart, that harmony is possible, is a reality. I could elaborate more. Let me go on to another point, even more basic. All religions value the dignity of the human person. Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, Christianity. We may have different philosophies. That is our richness. But we all come to the same end point, the dignity of the human person. This is not just a philosophical statement, brothers and sisters. It's got concrete applications. If human dignity is to be upheld, then every individual has tremendous value. Poor or rich, educated or uneducated, successful or unsuccessful. If our divinely given human dignity is to be protected, how can we tolerate situations of exploitation, of oppression, of marginalization? How can there be situations of hunger? How can there be unequal opportunity of access to education? How can there be situations of inadequate medical care? I admit, friends, that given human reality, inequality is here with us to stay and will never be totally eradicated. But can you and I remain indifferent to this? As a man of religion, as spiritual leaders, should not our hearts bleed at the sufferings of others, at this lack of hope for a better future for others? Hence, the need for all of us to work together to eradicate poverty, suffering, and oppression of all sorts. The world is going through a tremendous economic upheaval because of the pandemic. All our newspapers are giving editorial comments on this and on the future, and so has Lokmat, I'm confident. This is the appropriate time for us to infuse ethics into economics. A profit at any cost philosophy only makes for greater division between the haves and the have-nots and widens more this division. Generally, it benefits more the affluent and makes the indigent more dependent. India has got the possibility to give leadership in this. We are at the crossroads. The country could totally ignore the weak and race along with the strong. Or we could try to take along everyone, which might mean lessening our speed. The Catholic Church worldwide is studying synodality, walking together. How to walk together, listening to one another. And to conclude, we could all walk together, and our question to all of us is, how do we walk together, listening to one another, examining how we can make the world a better place? We in India must do the same, talking to one another, studying how we can make India a better country. In spite of our diversity is our richness, and this is our opportunity to show the world an example of harmony and collaboration, example of selflessness. We need to go on reflecting. All of us are proud of our country, the cradle of many religions, and the flag bearer of the slogan, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This is what we have to contribute to the world. Let us walk together. Let us talk together. Let us remove from our hearts and minds anything that comes to divide religious communities. Let us be leaders who will help all Indians to walk together towards progress and harmony. May India give a lead to the world by its example of interreligious and intercommunal harmony. Jai Hind.